to my channel. It's just Jame, and I'm just here trying to change your perspective. If you clicked on this video, you already know what it is. I would rather have cancer than chemo, or for that matter, any other mainstream cancer treatment. Radiation, surgery, all that fun stuff. That has in the past been a super controversial statement. I've had lots of people almost get angry with me about that, which is surprising because, my body, my choice, right? I thought that was a thing. But let me tell you why. First of all, 9 out of 10 times, most tumors are actually very slow growing. So, for example, if they find a tumor in a mammogram, it's probably been there for like 10 years. 9 out of 10 times that's the case. They're very slow growing. And actually, the things that we do to them, when we cut them, when we radiate them, not always the radiation, but when we cut them and we poke, prod, mess with them, especially like squeezing them. So if you do have a tumor in your breast and you squeeze it by getting a mammogram, there's evidence to show that the trauma from the squeezing, from the radiation, all of that actually causes the tumor to spread and move. We live in America in the sickest population. We spend the most on healthcare, and we are the sickest population. There are more cancer research centers and cancer institutes and all these different places that you can go to get better from cancer, and yet 1 in 2 people in America will have cancer. I believe that is the correct statistic. You're welcome to correct me on that. The dogma associated with the cancer industry, to me, once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? So when you get diagnosed with cancer, they want you to think that it is a life or death situation. It's emergency. Right now, you're going to die if you don't get this treatment. And they've got you in either in surgery or in a chemo clinic or in an immunotherapy clinic very, very quickly. They don't want to mess around. They want you to think that this is like life or death, and these are your only options. So let me start by saying that in nursing school, when we did our cancer lecture, at the beginning, it was like a 60 or 70 slide lecture, okay? So in the beginning, one of the first slides was what causes cancer. The answer was chemicals, radiation, and hormones. Those were like the three main things that caused cancer. So then we went through about 50 different slides, and then at the end, how do we treat cancer? Chemo, radiation, and hormones. And I felt like I was in like the Matrix or something. Like, wait a minute, what? So the same things that cause it are the things we're going to use to treat it. That makes no sense at all. Everything we do we know radiation causes cancer. I've had this argument with a couple of different nurses, and one in particular got very upset with me when I said that radiation caused cancer. And she was like, well, my so-and-so was saved from radiation. Sure, but are they going to get another kind of cancer down the road from the radiation they received for the first cancer? Radiation is incredibly dangerous, and we know that. Like, it's not new information. We've always known that. So why are we still using it? And it's not just about the chemo and the radiation and the hormones and the different things that all shut down our immune system. When you take chemo, it is like putting an atomic bomb in your body. It kills everything. It has no self-regulation. It has no idea this is a good cell and this is a bad cell. It kills it all. I've had people tell me, I have a good friend who told me that her sister's doctor told her she will die from chemo before she ever dies of the cancer. And she did. She died of chemo poisoning. Chemo is incredibly caustic. It's so harmful. And after you take it, you are not the same person. It literally affects your entire body. It affects the way your brain cells function. It has these drastic long-term effects that nobody talks about, and they make you think that you have to take it. And my frustration is that, yeah, if that's what you want to do, you go right ahead, but there is a plethora of people out there who are curing their cancer with all these alternative options that you don't even get presented to you. Again, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've mentioned this before, if you go on Pinterest and type in cancer cures, you'll be told it's against their community guidelines. It's not even an option to you. You get to this fork in the road, and you're told this is the only road. You have to go this way. When there are loads of people that go this way, and yeah, they're mostly on their own because their doctors think that they're crazy, but guess what? They're getting better. So what does it matter? Our body is a self-healing, self-repairing organism. We have the tools within us to heal ourselves. We just have to give it the proper supplies. We have the tools. We just don't always have the material to use it, to use the tools. We have anti-tumor cells. We have anti-inflammatory properties, and there's a lot of evidence that shows that cancer is a metabolic disorder, meaning that there's something we can do about that. There's lots of people that think that fasting can cure cancer, that an alkaline diet, we know that that cancer can't live in an alkaline environment. We know that sugar is incredibly acidic and it fuels cancer. As a matter of fact, when you get a PET scan, that's what they do, is they inject sugar into you and it lights up the different areas. It's something like 80% of people over 60 and 100% of people over 80 have some sort of tumor in their body somewhere. So that's why a lot of people get refused for different treatments, because it's there and it's been there. The likelihood is that it's been there, and there's really no reason to go in and destroy what you have left of your body when you could just live out the rest of your life in peace. Example would be, there's a place called the Hoxie Clinic. This is, at some point, was quite controversial. I think it was back in like the 50s and 60s maybe? Or maybe it was closer to the 80s. I can't remember. All the dates and times start running together. But there was something called the Hoxie Clinic, Harry Hoxie, and he at one time had 17 clinics open in America. He was the most arrested man in medical history because they were so desperate to get rid of him. But he boasted an 80% cure rate. And his patients that went to him loved him. They said they felt better, they got better, something he was doing was working. And he begged people to do a study on his treatments, and they never would. But they were violently against him. There's a really great documentary called Quacks Who Cure Cancer, I believe is what it's called. But it's the Harry Hoxie documentary. It's very informative. Look into it. Like, there are more options out there. You can think he's a total quack. You can think I'm a total quack. I don't care. But the fact is there are more options out there than chemo, radiation, and hormones, and immunotherapy, all of which are suppressing and turning off parts of your immune system. Your immune system is where your anti-tumor cells are. Your immune system is where your anti-inflammatory cells are. Your immune system is where everything is. If you're not protecting your immune system and you're not building into it, then you're, by definition, tearing it down, which means it's not going to work the way it's designed to work, which means you're not going to get better the way you should. And if there's a doctor out there that's telling you otherwise, they're lying to you. I have someone who is receiving immunotherapy right now, and he was told that it was going to make his immune system better. All you have to do is go online and learn about immunotherapy to learn that it turns off parts of your immune system. It literally deactivates parts of your immune system to stop them from working. And the sad thing is it really is frustrating, because a lot of people, once they get that scary diagnosis, we've been so conditioned to literally panic and fear. And again, if you've watched this channel at all, you know fear is one of the worst things that you can do for your body, is to be in a fearful state and to feel like you don't have any other options, to feel like you're backed into a corner. So getting a cancer diagnosis, you immediately set into this fight or flight mode, and you can't, it's like you can't compute what's going on. You can't process, and you can't even look any other direction. You're just doing what the doctor tells you to do. And there are so many people who love their doctors, and they just think, oh, well, my doctor would never lie to me, or he would never. And I'm not saying that they are lying to you. I'm saying they're not taught any of this. And there's a lot of doctors who feel like their hands are tied because it's literally illegal to present some of this stuff to their patients. They have to stick to specific guidelines and specific protocols. And like I said, the dogma is so real that most of them don't even look into it, because they've just been told in nursing school, in medical school, that these people are all quacks. They don't know any of the data. There are so many good books out there. Cancer is a metabolic disorder. Keto for Cancer. Cancer Cured, the cancer industry. Cancer Cured is a really good one, and it goes through the different types of the chemo, radiation, and surgery, and how exactly those three things are causing you more harm and more cancer, and exactly what it's doing, the receptors in your body that are being turned on and off with the various treatments, and why they're so dangerous. For example, there's plenty of studies to show that cutting into cancer will cause it to spread. And so it makes sense when you go in and get your cancer removed that almost always it comes back. Whether it's somewhere else or it's in the same spot or it's just a little bit downstream, it almost always comes back. If you don't do anything to change your diet, to change your lifestyle, to change your stress level, it's probably going to come back. I had a good friend who got cancer, and I bought all these books and I read all this stuff, and that was when I really kind of got in my deep dive, was about last fall, I guess, and I highlighted all these different things and I presented it all to him, and he, to my knowledge, never even cracked the books open, but he made the comment, well, that's easy for you to say, Jame, but you're not the one who has cancer. And I agree, I'm not the one who had cancer. But his inability to even look and see for himself, and this same friend had an issue where his white blood cells were low, and he was bragging to me, because the whole time he was going through treatment, he was trying to like prove to me, look, it's working. He showed me his scans, and look, my tumor's shrinking. And I said, yeah, I never said it wouldn't kill your cancer. I said it would kill you along with it. And that's harsh words, but it's true. Chemo it's so bad for you. It's poison going straight into your blood. That's how it can kill your cancer. But his white blood cells were low, and his doctor told him that. And so he said, I went home and researched and found out that blueberries would help my white blood cells. And so I ate blueberries, and then my white blood cells were better. I said, so nobody at your cancer clinic taught you what to do if your white blood cells were low? And he said, no. Like, come on now. Like, they're not helping you. They want to help you, and that's great. And like, I know plenty of cancer nurses who have a heart of gold. They are wonderful people. But if you don't ever look into all the other options, then you might be convinced that that is your only choice. There are studies out there that show that cannabis has an effect on tumor cells and cancer cells, and that it causes them to stop growing. There's evidence, like I said, about sugar. The Hoxie Clinic the FDA shut down all 17 of their practices in America, and they were forced to move to Mexico. You can still go get the Hoxie treatment in Tijuana, Mexico, and word on the street is it's pretty good stuff. Like I said, an 80% cure rate is what they boast. And like I said, you may think that's total quackery, but don't you think that you deserve the right and your patients deserve the right to look into it and at least decide for themselves which quack they want to listen to? I'm not afraid of cancer. Cancer is a normal metabolic issue in my body, that if I'm not doing something correctly, if I'm being exposed to something that's harmful to me, my body's natural response is to develop this cancer. And there are plenty of ways to handle that cancer, whether you choose to cut it out or whatever the case may be. It just seems kind of silly to me to cut something out when it has the potential to just grow back. Why would you put yourself through that much trauma when you haven't even tried any other options? And I understand it's not all cut and dry and black and white, but the whole point of this video is to say that there's more than a handful of options. There are plenty of things out there that you can do that have very little side effects. There's even something called the Fenbin protocol, which is like an anti-parasitic medicine that people swear up and down will cure their cancer. You can even take it as a cancer preventative, supposedly. And again, I'm not making judgments one way or the other. Like I said, I don't have cancer, so I can't say I've not cured my own cancer, but I'm here to tell you that if I were to get cancer, that would be the path that I went down. And it breaks my heart in two when people get these cancer diagnoses and their entire world is flipped upside down. They feel horrible. They're sick. They can't live their lives anymore. They're alive, but they're barely alive. They have no joy in their life anymore. They can't even spend time with their kids or their family because they're so sick. And I just want you guys to know that there's more than one option out there. So that's what this video is about. Please reach out to me if you are interested in other resources for cancer treatment, because I would love nothing more than to show you different options and give you some books to read and some videos to watch, and just give you an alternative way of thinking about cancer, a change of perspective about cancer and what can be done about it, because it's not a death sentence. And when these doctors come in and say, well, you have 4 years left to live, you have 5 years left to live, they should be ashamed of themselves, because when you tell somebody that, the fear reaction that happens in your body, you can't think straight, you physically have this fight or flight response to where you're in panic mode. No healing comes in panic mode. That is do or die. That's a I got a gun to my head situation, and you cannot be healed. There is no curing in that environment. Your body is under a severe stress state at that point. And everything that follows, all the tests and all the poking and prodding, all the trauma that goes into the body, whether it's through chemo or surgery, oh gosh, it's just so traumatic for the body and for the people around them. So if you know somebody with cancer, or if you have cancer yourself, I would highly encourage you to just look into some other options. I understand how overwhelming it is. I promise you I do. And I would say don't be scared to just consider even something as simple as IV vitamin C. High-dose IV vitamin C has been proven to reduce cancer cells to, I think it causes apoptosis, which is cell death. Like I said, I really can't remember. I guess I should have prepared better, but I've been reading all this stuff for so long, it all kind of runs together. And frankly, either you're going to believe me or not. Like, you're either going to listen to me and be like, wow, this is great, I'm going to remember this if I ever get cancer, which again, like 1 in 2 people at this point get cancer in America. So childhood cancer is up through the roof. And that's a whole other topic we can talk about, because why? Why are we the sickest population with the best health care? Why is there a cancer industry booming? There's new cancer facilities opening up left and right, and yet we're sicker and sicker than we've ever been. And nobody's talking about the water, nobody's talking about the various medicines that are given to the entire population of people. As children, we all get lots of medicines that are one size fits all for the whole population. So that's a little bit of why I say that I would rather have cancer than chemo. I would rather have cancer than any other treatment, because my body made the cancer. That means it can handle the cancer, it can eliminate it. Anything else that you do in regular allopathic medicine is going to, by definition, reduce your immune system, because that's what they think it is. They think your immune system is what's broken. No. If it is broken, it's because we broke it. It's because something in us, around us, or near us is causing our immune system to be dysregulated, and we need to be playing into what's making our immune system better, not what's making it worse. I don't think that that's rocket science. Maybe I'm wrong. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, let me know. Comment and let me know if you think I'm a total quack. I would love to know that. And let me know if you would like to try some of these things. If you're like me and you would rather take the alternative route, let me know that as well, because I would love to give you some more information and send you down a little rabbit hole of things that you can be learning about and you can be arming yourself with, so that if and when you ever do get a cancer diagnosis, you can be prepared and not make a decision out of fear, but out of intelligence and well-grounded and well-founded information. Stay healthy, stay well. I love you. I'm just Jame, and I'm just trying to change your perspective here, okay?